Hey, this is Matt with Alpha Analyst, and in this video, we're going to go over how to print from Microsoft Excel. In this video, we'll touch on how you can make sure that you only print out the portions of the document that you want to print out, how you can change how it looks when you print it, such as do you want it to be sideways or landscape or up and down, otherwise known as portrait. You can change a wide variety of things, and in this video, we're going to cover them. All right, let's get started. So if you take a look at this document, if you look very closely, you'll notice that between columns K and L, there's a dotted line. So this means that if I were to print this document, those two items would show up on different pages. Page 1 would print out through column K, and then the page 2 would print from column L over. And we wouldn't want that because that would basically cut the title into two pieces. It would cut this piece of smart art into two pieces. And we probably would want this to just print on one page. If we want an even clearer view of how this would print, we can come over to the View menu, and if you click on the View tab and then go over to Page Break Preview, so we'll click on that, you can clearly see here that this is page 1 and this is page 2. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. This would print out on one page and this would print out on another. One quick way to have it all print on one page is to simply click on one of these dotted blue lines and drag it over. So after we do that, you can see that now it will all print on one page. Another option is to go to the Page Layout tab, and on the Page Layout tab, you can come over here and click on this little icon that's to the right of where it says Page Setup. And after you click on that icon, a dialog box pops up. And in this dialog box, you can come over here and click on Fit To. And in Fit To, you can say, fit this document that we're printing to 1 page wide by 1 page tall. And when you select those options and click OK, you can see that now it's going to print all of that on just one page. So that's another way to be able to keep all of your content on just one page. If you want to be able to get a good sense for what your document will look like after you print it, I highly recommend adding this shortcut to the top of your Excel window. If it doesn't show up by default, which typically it does not show up by default, you can click on this down arrow to get it to show up. So for example, if you go to the top, by default, typically you will not see an icon up here for print preview. So just click on this down arrow that says customize the quick access toolbar. And if you click on it, you'll see an option that says print preview and print. So if you click on that, you'll see that this icon pops up. So once you have that icon there, you can click on it and it will show you what your document would look like if you were to print it right now. So overall, this document looks pretty good. However, it is possible that you might want to change how your document would look. Let's say that we wanted, for example, to print this landscape, to have this printed left and right as compared to up and down. Over here on the left, you can choose from the portrait orientation menu, you can choose landscape. So instead of being a portrait document, you want it to be landscape. I would say that our document looks a lot better in the portrait format. So let's put it back to portrait. You can also change the margins. So right here it has the narrow margins, which enables you to print more on each piece of paper. But if you wanted to have larger margins, you could come over and just choose normal. And by doing that, you can see that we got a little bit more of a margin. I personally think that sometimes it looks better to have more content on the page. So I personally use the narrow, but it's really up to you. It's personal preference. If you come over here on the left, you can see that you have the option to change the number of copies that are printed. And you obviously have the option to, in the drop-down box here, to choose which printer you're going to use. So if we don't want to print the document to paper, let's say that we wanted to print it to a PDF file, how would we do that? Okay, if you come over here to the menu that says Export, you can see that there's an option for Create a PDF or XPS document. So if you click that button, you'll be able to have a dialog box that pops up and you can give the file a name. So let's call it Print from Excel, and we can hit Enter. And after we do that, this will create a PDF file for us. Okay, here's the PDF file that was just created. And as you can see, the PDF file looks very similar to the image that we saw on the print preview. So overall, this is a great way to create a PDF file from a document because not everybody has Microsoft Excel, and sometimes it's easier to share in a PDF format. So it was great that we were able to print this document, but let's say that we did not want to print this entire document, and instead we only wanted to print this portion up here, and we wanted to leave this portion out. So the portion with the smart art in the picture, we wanted to leave out, and we only wanted to print this portion up top with the text. How would we do that? So there are a couple ways to do it. One way to do it is if you go to the View tab, and you come over here to the left and choose Page Break Preview so that you have these blue lines around the outside. You can simply put your cursor down on the blue line until you see a black arrow pointing up and down. You can click on that and you can drag it up so that it only includes the portion that you want to print. So now if we were to print the document, it would not print this section down here. It would only print this section. And if we wanted to verify that, we could come up here to that Print Preview icon that we created, that shortcut, and we could take a quick look and say, okay, great, that only is going to print the portion that we want. Another option, if we didn't want to have to change that blue icon, we could create what's called a print area. So let's talk about how to do that. The first thing that you want to do is to select the area to print. Okay, so we just selected this section right here because this is what we want to print. From this menu, you can go to Page Layout, and then you can come over here to where it says Print Area. So Page Layout and then Print Area. And here we're going to select Set Print Area. After we did that, you'll notice that the blue section changed so that it's only going to print the area that we selected. And to verify, if we come up to the Print Preview option, you can see that that's all set to go. And if we want to go back to what we had before, we could take that blue line and we could drag it back down below the picture. So I really hope that after watching this video, you have a much better understanding of how to print documents in Microsoft Excel and how to customize it so that you can print exactly what you want to print. Thanks for watching this video, which was the last in the series of Introduction to Microsoft Excel. If you like this content, I highly recommend that you check out other content that's available at alphaanalyst.com. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope that this was very helpful for you.